Welcome, everybody, to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Matthew Spear from the Don't Unfriend Me Show, running solo tonight. Just me, you, and Magoo. Good to have you guys here. Thank you for joining the show, and excited to do tonight's show. Wasn't feeling very well, so figured I'd maybe try to get out early if possible. And when we have multiple hosts, it takes a little bit longer, so I figured we would have an intimate night alone. James Gunn is a danger to Superman. Stocks and tariffs. Talked a little bit about that. I'm sure everyone noticed the stock market today and the tariffs. Twin brother tragedy. Horrible story. Matt, happy day before your birthday. Thank you. Me, ripe old age of 51. Loomer and Firings over at the NSA. What happened? Democrat tariff and border lies. Want to give you a little bit of history there. And Owens does exactly, I've been saying it for a while, she's not a conservative. She no longer speaks for the movement. She's no longer MAGA. And I'm going to prove it to you tonight. And I'll accept an apology. It's fine if anybody would like to apologize. You can do that. One more thing. Facebook, before this thing kicks off, invited us to a new program, but they still haven't given us Reels revenue and stars. But they're giving us new, we test out for them. We tested out all of their, when they started paying for memes, we test out their short videos and we test out their shop, but they won't give me access. So it's something stupid. It's like they don't want to do this. It's like somebody doesn't know how to fix this. But you can actually go now to this link. I just put it up in chat so YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook will see it. And you can go to facebook.com/thedumbshow/storefront/videograms. That's a mouthful. And you can request a birthday message or an inspirational message or for me to reach out to you, whatever. It's like $25. Then you can ask Leroy, Amy, myself, whatever you want, or all of us, and we'll make you a little video and say thanks. And wow. Thanks, Facebook. I would still really like to make money on Reels and you stop throttling me. Anyway, we have a bunch of stuff to talk about tonight. We'll see you in just a few minutes right after this. Hey, and if you guys could do us a favor, please like, share, and subscribe. If you're watching the feed right now, hit that like button. What that does is it lets Facebook know that there's people watching, and then it will share to your feed, and then your friends can see it. If you go ahead and follow, we would appreciate it as well. But throwing a like on YouTube, on Twitter, on Rumble, it helps, and immensely, especially on Rumble, where a lot of people forget to like, but a lot of people watch. Help us out, if you would not mind, and share the show. Thank you. And hello, Debbie Euchre, who said hello. If you say hello to me, I try to say hello to you, and hello to everybody who I may have missed.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's new.
Hey guys, Barry Morgenstein, America's headshot photographer, coming to you from my New York City studio. Great friend of the Dumb Show. It is now time to put down the camera because it's almost 7 p.m. and I'm gonna watch the coolest, the most real and raw show on the internet. It's on every night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the coolest guys, Matt, Olivia, Leroy, and Amy. You guys have to tune in to see it. It's gonna be something incredible every night. Check it out.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What is going on? Wait, what is the flag for besides people's names? I don't know. I'm finishing up running to the border, Taco Bell border, that is. Ooh, I don't eat that stuff anymore. But I get a craving. Like, I used to drink like 12 Pepsis a day when I was a kid. That was horrible. I wonder why I was fat. And then, there's nothing like Taco Bell Pepsi. It's the best. There's just something about it. It's fantastic. I'm telling you. But I don't partake anymore. Did you guys hear about? I forgot to tell you. Hold on a second. Let me bring this forward. Bring to front. It's gonna work a little bit differently. There we go. Yeah, I told you about the new thing where you can request a video. Whatever, it's cool. Honestly, just ask me. I'll do it for you. What else? I don't know. But I do know some topics we can talk about. You guys remember Virginia? I think it's Goofrey is how you say her name. And by the way, the people up above are scrolling. These are the people, the last 25 donations, and they may have gone back from last night and then whatever happens tonight. These are the people who give the most to the show. So I want to say thank you to these people and make sure they're recognized. Virginia Goofrey supposedly was hit by a bus, and she is one of the victims of Epstein. And there's a lot of accusations with Ghislaine Maxwell and everything else. I'm going to play a quick video of this. And listen, the last thing I'm doing is going after a person who suffered from a sexual predator and was raped. Of course, I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm doing. But the but is, it doesn't mean you can't question something that takes place and say, this doesn't sound right. And about 4 days ago, she came out with a post that said, I've been hit by a bus, which in itself is incredibly lucky to be alive. I don't care at what speed a bus is going. A bus transfers its energy to you at any speed, and that's no fun. And so the story was weird. It came out on March 31st, so I thought it might have been an April Fool's hoax, but kind of a stupid hoax to do. So here is the Sky News interview, just to get, I don't know why my audio keeps test. I don't know why my audio keeps cutting out. My soundboard's amazing. It's one of the best you can get, but it's been being weird. So anyway, this is 52 seconds. I want you to, I don't know why it keeps cutting out. Does everyone keep hearing that, or is it just me? Maybe if I up it a little bit. Test, 1, 2. Is that better? Sounds better. Yes, no. Yes, ho. All right, sounds good. I think that is what happened. Let's go ahead and watch this video real quick. And the picture on the left is her announcement that she has 4 days to live. Now, I don't know if any of you have had a prognosis of a demise that is in the shortcoming. But I have never heard a doctor say you've got 4 days to live. No. It's just a little too specific. So immediately when I saw that, that was a little questionable. Here's the video. And I will also say the bruises and contusions and all of that do not look fresh. So when you get a subdermal hematoma, a bruise, the blood vessels are broken. And what you will see immediately is a lot of swelling, a lot of redness, and then a immediate, almost second by second increase in dark purple color and horrible discoloration in the skin, etc., etc., etc. And you'll see broken blood vessels. You can see bleeding behind the eye, especially with face contusions, lacerations. But these look posthumous from an accident of at least a few days, if not a week. So it's weird. And here's the story.
I was so young. Keelan woke me up in the morning and said, "You're going to meet a prince today." I didn't know at that point that I was going to be trafficked to that prince. And then that night, Prince Andrew came to her house in London, and we went out to Club Tramp. Prince Andrew got me alcohol. It was in the VIP section. I'm pretty sure it was vodka. Prince Andrew was like, "Let's dance together." And I was like, okay. And
right. But if a doctor gives you a prognosis of a few months to a few weeks to a few days, that's different than someone saying you have 4 days to live. Come on. I think we all know the difference. Doing a staggered countdown is different than, just doing a prognosis. You have 4 days. You have 24 hours and you'll be dead. No doctor does that. Now, if it's terminal and it's something, like, okay, maybe what they would say is if someone has internal bleeding that can't be stopped, is we're making this person comfortable. And at this point, we feel that recovery is, and the prognosis is bleak. But not 4 days. Come on. Not to argue, just to argue, people. Come on.
we leave Club Tramp, and I hop in the car with Ghislaine and Jeffrey, and Ghislaine said he's coming back to the house, and I want you to do for him what you do for Epstein. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that even royalty were involved.
So I'm not here to question the story when it comes to what happened to her. I don't think she was actually hit by a bus, probably in a vehicle and was hit by a bus is what I would assume. Reminds me of the story of Olivia when the Baltimore Ravens were in a bus accident at the airport. And she's like, oh my God, a plane hit them? No, Liv. It was a bus accident. So I'm not here to say anything other than the story seems a little wonky. And now we're seeing rumors that it was a mistake, that, I was wrong. There's a few other things with the photograph, folks. I mean, take a look. Earrings are in, necklace is on. You're in a halter top. You've got eyeshadow and makeup on. It looks like you've got, for the vitals, there should be multiple, not just one on the left breast, but you should see another one. And there's multiple pictures of her. It's just questionable, and it makes me go, I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Okay. All right, I'm not going to get into it again. Oh God. Ugh. So I'm just not going to read chat tonight. I'm done. Drama. Nobody said that. I didn't say that. I just said it's different. Anyway, necklace on, halter top on. You're in a bed. I don't know. It just looks, It looks like she's at the ER. And it looks like some of these bruises are not fresh. That's all I'm saying. Just weird. So just like we do everything, just question it. And listen, she's had a hard life. She was a victim of Jeffrey Epstein. Prince Andrew gave her a settlement, undisclosed. I hope that she doesn't have 4 days to live. I hope she has a fruitful life. But it just seems a little wonky to me. And I don't know about anyone else, but it seems wonky to me. That's it. Just figured I'd bring it to your attention. Just because we cover stuff like this and we want to try to bring the truth. You know what I mean? James Gunn. Now, I don't know if you guys know who this is. I have a particular disdain for this gentleman. I don't like him. And the reason I don't like him, and if this doesn't get any better, I got to reset my panel because it's cutting in and out on my ears. It's driving me crazy. Right. Amy says, if she only has 4 days to live, she would not have been released from the hospital. Right. And she probably wouldn't be taking selfies of herself in ICU. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, good. I'm glad we all understand. It's a horrible story. It's a crap. But just because bad things happen to people doesn't mean that people can't say things that are not true, right? So I'm questioning it. Folks, I need to take a 1 minute. I got to reset my panel. I'm going to go deaf for a minute. Sorry. You still might be able to hear me. Yes, you can. Okay, so hey everybody, this sounds horrible right now, and that's because it's off my iMac, but I'm rebooting my panel and my processor, so should just take a second. And it sounds like dirt. I know it sounds like dirt. All right. All right, we're going to go ahead and try again. I think it sounds better. Oh, no. Test, 1, 2, test. That sounds much better. At least in my ear, it sounds better. I know it sounds good for you, but it doesn't sound good for me. What was happening is every time I turned my head, my headphones were cutting off. And I love Sennheiser, but these headphones have not been working well for me. So I'm getting a little frustrated. Okay, hopefully that's better. All right. James Gunn. Some of you may know who he is. Some of you may not. If you remember, he did the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. He was the director. And he was fired subsequently from Disney. James Gunn fired by Disney after a long history of pedophilia comments spotlighted. Now, are we talking about one comment? Maybe 10? Maybe 5? 20? 100? 50? 75? Thousands. Thousands of comments in regards to molesting, abusing, trafficking, raping kids. Photos surfaced of him at a pedophile-themed party where he dressed up like a pedophile. He dressed up like a Catholic priest. There's a picture of a clown choking a girl in a Raggedy Ann outfit. A man dressed up in baby pajamas. A girl sucking her thumb, and an Easter bunny, which reportedly had a strap-on in its midsection. Really classy stuff. You know, this is right up there with Justin Trudeau wearing blackface, or, you know, maybe. We couldn't tell which one he was wearing. Some of the things he said, wondering which Disneyland character would be the worst to get raped by. I think it's Goofy, but Sleepy would suck too. 3 men and a baby they had sex with. I like it when little boys touch me in my silly place. Shh. The Expendables was so manly, I effed the S out of the little P boy next to me. The boys are back in town. Leading in votes on which American Idol contestant I should rape. Sanjaya with 12 votes, followed by Constantine with 3. Just made a joke about ass raping my friend when he was asleep. And it goes on, and on, and on, and on. This guy is a horrible human being. Feels like when Uncle Bernie fists me. Effed the S out of her. 3-year-old was peeing on my head. Tell your 3-year-old you're laughing thinking of me effing 3PO. Sorry, missed the C. He'll appreciate it when older. Not the little boys. Give the kid a BJ, $3 from a maybe tranny trafficking. This guy's a pig with a capital P. And that P stands for something else. James Gunn. So in 2018, Mr. James Gunn directed Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy films. He was fired by Disney after decade-old tweets resurfaced. Not 10, not 20, not 100, not 1,000. Thousands of tweets. These tweets were supposedly intended as edgy jokes, but they touched on subjects like rape, pedophilia, completely indefensible in tone regardless of content. Though Gunn had apologized for them years earlier, they were dug up and amplified, likely as retaliation for his frequent criticism of President Trump. Isn't it great how the left does this? Instead of holding the pedo account, you get the people who hold the pedo to account and then blame them because he criticized Trump. No, I don't think it's because he criticized Trump. I think it's because the man propagated and advocated for diddling children. I'm pretty sure that's what we're talking about. The firing shocked Hollywood and fans alike. This is from the Associated Press, mind you. Cast members like Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, whatever her face, and Dave Bautista publicly supported Gunn. The entire main cast signed an open letter urging Disney to reconsider. It's funny because Gina Carano, somebody who I've defended fervently, comparing the passport treatment and identification card of COVID-19 to Nazi Germany, was fired from the Bounty Hunter show about The Mandalorian. Beautiful in that show. Gorgeous. I think Gina Carano's a looker. Sure, she's thick. She's a big girl. She's a fighter, and she's beautiful. Just stunning. And I thought she was great in The Mandalorian. The chemistry between her was fantastic. Nobody wrote letters of defense for her. They ruined her career. Our good friend of the show, Roseanne Barr, who watches. Roseanne, if you're watching, wonderful to have you on the show. We need to get you on here. She was canceled by Hollywood, fired from her hit reboot show, Roseanne, for supposed anti-Semitic comments. If anyone knows Roseanne, they know that's not true. I've been in rooms with her twice, and I have heard her fervently defend Jews. And her comments are nothing compared to the things that we hear from the left now on an everyday basis, and what they espouse the Jews to be as some evil empire trying to take over the Middle East with their 0.003% landmass in a sea of Muslim countries. Come on, give me a break. Warner Brothers didn't waste time. They brought Gunn over to helm the Suicide Squad for DC. That move not only showed Gunn's talent was still in high demand, and that movie sucked. By early 2019, after months of public-private pressure, Disney, where every child can go to the magic wonderland of Disney and be sexualized by erroneous content that is manufactured to brainwash children into alternate lifestyles. And with the help of guys like James Gunn, it shouldn't be too difficult. They gave him the helm to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I refuse to watch it, and I love the Guardian series. I love the comic book. The decision wasn't announced with fanfare, but came with acknowledgement that Gunn had taken responsibility and grown since his tweets. Grown. And the firing had been, in hindsight, a hasty reaction to an orchestrated outrage campaign. Oh, really? Kind of like what they did to Gina Carano? That seemed pretty orchestrated. Gunn's return was seen by many as a rare example of Hollywood course-correcting, acknowledging the nuance between accountability and cancellation, and it only strengthened his reputation, eventually leading to his current position as co-head of DC Studios, where he's now overseeing it. Didn't they learn from Harvey Weinstein? Didn't they learn? I mean, really. Yeah, let's go ahead and just put him ahead of a studio that curtails to children with comic books. Yeah, that's a great idea. Maybe we could rehash Romper Room and Mr. Rogers, and he could go ahead and oversee that, and he could do a casting couch for all the kids. I'm sure that would be great. This guy's a pig. And there is no forgiveness. There's no rehabilitation for pedophilia. He certainly is swallowing the urges, the darkness inside of him, but we all know it's there. These people don't get better. They're delusional. They're disgusting. They're sick. They're pathetic. You can't rehabilitate from that. No offense. No offense. To put this guy in charge is absolutely ridiculous. Here is the new trailer for Superman, which, listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a Supes fan. I think he's kind of a cheat, you know? But this actually looks halfway decent. And the sad thing is that I won't be able to watch it. And the reason why I'm not a Superman fan is that Donner did it the best. And although the first one was fantastic, the second, third, fourth, fifth, they were horrible. But this franchise has a chance to rekindle itself. Maria Madero says, and you are a clown. I don't know if you're talking to me. Maybe. You could be. Oh. O.B. Rolf. Oh, and Anon doesn't like us. Oh, God, whatever am I going to do? Oh, jeez. Are you serious? And Anon? No name account with no followers, no picture, doesn't like me? Oh, God. Must be one of Gunn's fans. Yeah, you guys always are. Because really, all it matters is that the content is strong, right? And I had a feeling that Maria wasn't talking about me. So I scrolled up and I saw it because Maria is a fan of the show. So I'm sorry, Rolf. I'm sorry. Maybe you could put GYN at the end of your name and get that thing checked out if it's not so fresh. If you've got that itchy feeling. OBGYNs are amazing. You should go see one. Here's the video. Enjoy. Because it actually looks good. It's actually 5 minutes. Let's watch it. I know who you were talking to, Maria. I got your back. Immediately love it. Immediately love it. It absolutely 100% is perfect for Superman's lair. Perfect. Everything. It's perfect. It's already perfect. And I can't stand this guy. I'm so pissed. Do, 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 do. Come on. Superman doesn't bleed. Come on. Must be fighting Doomsday. Wonder Pup. Let's get Super Pup out here. Come on now. That's the only reason to do it. Oh, you don't need to pretend you hear him. You have super hearing. You know he's coming. Ha! Holy sh! I haven't watched this. I'm so excited. Oh, right on. He's got the colors wrong, but it still looks good. That's my dog every morning.
Stop! 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 No! Crypto! Crypto! Oh! Crypto. Take me home.
Oh man, the CGI, that's fantastic.
Home. Oh.
You gonna show the whole movie? Come on, man. Hey, we can't get copyright struck on this because this is an advertisement. This is what it's for. I don't like the music. It's not good. Okay, that's cool. So it's not a permanent structure. That's good. I like that. Always bothered me with the Donner films that it was permanent. All right, it's got the chest emblem there for Krypton. That's good. Dog password by barking. There it is. The Krypton symbol for hope.
Superman!
All right, artificial bots. Okay. Must have got those from Batman. Superman's not a techie.
Thank you.
No need to thank us, sir, as we will not appreciate it.
Yeah, they're
We
robots.
have
What the
no
hell are you doing?
consciousness whatsoever. Merely automatons.
He does look good for Soups, I'm telling you.
Age 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
Oh, great. Tranny robots.
14 fractured bones.
Damage to bladder, kidney, large intestine,
How?
lungs.
How?
With a
How?
healthy dose of yellow sun, we'll have you up and at 'em in no time.
This is stupid. How? How does he have broken bones? He's Superman, for God's sake.
Level 4, 292 times Saharan Prime, please, one.
There's the music.
He's back.
Oh, I don't like him as Lex Luthor. Really? Wait, no. He was the Beast in X-Men. He should be good. He should be good as Lex Luthor. He's a good actor. Hawkman is Hawk Lady? What? I mean, there is a Hawk Lady, Hawk Woman, whatever. Oh, Brainiac might be in this. That's interesting. She's a hot Lois. Who is it? Yep, Smoking Lois Lane. Good. Finally.
Superman.
Yeah, that's the Beast. He's good. He'll be a good Lex Luthor. Sinestro, maybe. Wow. Wow. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I want to make sure I'm very clear. I'm still not going because it's directed by a pedo. It's a pedophile. Screw him. I hope it tanks. I hope it goes the way of Snow White. And I don't love Superman, but I'm excited to see this because I remember the Donner film. I remember him catching Margot Kidder from the Daily Planet when the helicopter went bad, him picking up, and I've got goosebumps. I got goosebumps now talking about it. That movie rocked. I mean, it's what got me into it. I'm not going to watch it. I refuse. Because they let a pedo direct it. That's listen, the character looks great. He looks just like Christopher Reeve. He looks like the guy from Smallville. Lex Luthor looks fantastic. Not as sinister as Gene Hackman with his, there's multiple types of Lex Luthor. There's like the kingpin Lex Luthor, who's a homicidal maniac and a killer. And then there's the clever Joker like that Gene Hackman did. I think Gene Hackman killed it. Just crushed it as Lex Luthor. But the real sinister side you didn't see. And then when they did that other guy and the other one who did the Zuckerberg Facebook movie, oh God, he's horrible. Horrible Lex Luthor. Oh, cringe. But I'm not going to watch it. Yeah, I'm just not going to watch it. And honestly, whoever goes, let me know what you think. I'm not excited about it. But that is the new Superman. And I got to say, it looks great. I mean, the CGI looks great. The breadth of characters looks amazing. Hawkwoman, not so much. Not really. Hawk Lady. Hawk Tui. They could have got the Hawk Tua girl. But they look like there's a good cast of villains. Looks like maybe Sinestro's in there, which would be good. Brainiac is in there. So there's, it looks good. But I'm a nerd. I am a nerd jock. Gone a nerd. So, I was a nerd in high school. I love D&D. I love comics. I love video games. And then I became more of a jock, joined the military. And when I got out, I went back to that. That's why I've got two arms. I've got my nerd arm and I've got my military arm. And I'm not going to go see it. What do you guys think? Are you going to go watch it? Now that you know who the director is, now that you know what he's about, are you going to go watch the movie? What do you think? I can tell you what I'm going to do. I'm not going. And I'm not boycotting. I just can't sit through it because every time I see a kid or every time I see a kid in the theater, I'm going to be thinking that this guy on the other end wrote thousands and thousands of disgusting, inappropriate, targeted tweets about kids. No, not going to do it. Just not going to do it. Stocks and tariffs, folks, right after this.
The Dumb Show is built on real conversations, raw, unfiltered, and fearless. Big Tech didn't like that. Facebook pulled out funding, tried to shut us down. But for over a year, you, our incredible viewers, have kept us going. Your support, your donations, your time, it all matters. Most of you spend 10 plus hours a week with us. Compare that to Netflix, maybe 5 hours a month. We believe we're worth that time. And we hope you do too. But listen, we don't want giving to feel like a burden. We want it to feel good. So take a second to ensure you're in a good spot. If you're in a place to give, that will be amazing. If not, just liking and sharing helps more than you know. Visit thedumbshow.com/donate. Whether it's PayPal, Venmo, or mail, every bit helps to keep us going. Dumb Nation. We appreciate you more than words can say.
Hey, Seuss. Yes, I'm on right now, buddy. Hey, birthday, schmirthday. I don't care. I'm going to be on. No, Siri, I wasn't talking to you. Be quiet. Folks, show goal tonight, $300. Zero so far. That's okay. It's a little bit of a slow start, but we appreciate you nonetheless. Siri, close. Jeez, Siri. God, always trying to seek attention. So if you want to donate, you go to thedomeshow.com. Hey, Jesus, yep, I'm on right now. Good to see you over on Rumble. Looks like Twitter is getting some people on here. All right, tariffs. Did a video today, and I want to share it with you. It's only a couple minutes, and it's going to help frame the conversation when it comes to Donald Trump and the tariffs. And want to make sure that you guys and girls are getting a good understanding of what's going to happen. So here's the video. This is great. This is a good sign because our videos are going somewhat viral compared to what we always do. And I stopped doing these like 7-8 months ago. I just stopped doing them. And I only focus on the live show. We used to do a recorded show. And I'm really thinking of bringing it back, because now we're starting to get some traffic on these, and people have a healthy appetite for them. So birthday today, no, birthday tomorrow. It's actually birthday Saturday, but we're celebrating it tomorrow because Olivia won't let me sneak it and not tell you. So I have to be honest. So yeah, tomorrow. All right, here's the video. Yesterday, Donald Trump finally placed reciprocal tariffs on pretty much the entire world. And Democrats are crying and yelling and saying this is going to cause inflation. Spending $10 trillion under Biden didn't cause inflation, but making money from the goods we import and export and leveling the playing field will cause inflation. I'm sorry, but that still point hat is slick. I'm just saying, it looks so good under the lights. It's the one I'm wearing right now. Excuse me. Yes, I'm sick. I wasn't going to come on tonight. And I'm just feeling a little under the weather. And I wasn't going to come on, but I'm here. Interesting. We understand this is the long road. It's going to take time. There is a short-term, midterm, happy and birthday. long-term to this. Tomorrow. And ultimately, it's to drive the cost of goods for the producers up. And if they come to the United States and build manufacturing plants here, creates jobs, infrastructure, and overall stimulates the economy, that will have a resounding impact to bring back American industry. You're not going to do that with hopes and dreams. We need to compete on the global level when it comes to labor. And a free market isn't free if tariffs and imbalanced trade is at the cost of America's future. Donald Trump's been saying this for 35 years, and you should watch this minute now. Joanne says, hope to get the ball rolling. While I'm playing a video, doing the donation. Thank you to whoever's on donations tonight. Ethan, Liv. Half is probably one of the most telling signs that liberals are melting down for no reason, and that Donald Trump has ran on the same policies. It's good to have you on. Call him an independent or a Democrat or the Reform Party or a Republican or MAGA. It doesn't matter. He's always believed in business first. And now he's putting America first. Watch this.
Last year, criticizing U.S. foreign policy. What would you do differently, Donald?
I'd make our allies, forgetting about the enemies you can't talk to so easily, I'd make our allies pay their fair share. We're a debtor nation. Something's going to happen over the next number of years with this country, because you can't keep going on losing $200 billion, and yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country.
Thanks, Jen.
Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
You know, these videos, they do well, and it makes me sick, you know? But I got to admit, there's times where I just don't have time for long-form content. And whether it's an article or it's a video, I just want them to get to the point. And this took me so long to learn. You guys remember how the videos used to be. I mean, there was a long intro, and, you know, I'd say hello and blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, we'd finally get to it. Even our live shows, it's like 3 or 4 minutes to start. That's different, though. You got to wait for people to log on. But I have finally said, screw brand, you know, screw explaining it, just get to the point. And honestly, they've been successful. So it's amazing when you just tweak things just a little bit, how it makes an impact, you know? So I'm going to stick with it. We're going to try this, and then we'll see where we go. But I'm excited about it. Not going to lie. I think it's great to see some of those numbers move up. But let's talk about these tariffs, okay? Because I am so tired of hearing this. Listen, liberals, you have no... Thank you, Estella. Estella, are you a real person? Sir, I have to know. Because when you first came on here, we thought maybe you were a little bit of a troll or a bot because of that picture. I'm not going to lie. Are you a real person? Because, we need to know. We need to know these things. And if you are, welcome to the group. Holy moly. Just saying. A lot of people had questions when you first started. They didn't know if you were real or not. But usually somebody that's like, hi, or happy birthday, not happy birthday, but hi, they're usually a bot or a troll. So let's find out. If you are real, this is now your third time here. So it would lead me to believe that you're not a bot. Let us know. Okay, so tariffs. Let's just lay this out. Democrats have no right to complain, to bitch, or anything else. None. Because remember what y'all said? That the stock market doesn't depict how good. Thank you, Jesus. Hey, my friends, coming in late again. Good to have you here. The stock market doesn't depict a healthy economy. That's what you told us from 2016 all the way until early COVID. Then when it tanked, you told us the economy was tanking under Trump. Then when it went back up and he started recovering, you said once again that the stock market isn't indicative of a good economy. Then under 4 years of Joe Biden, you said that the reason why we have such a great economy and inflation is transitory and it doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter about the border, and our energy independence is gone and prices are going through the roof, that it was a great economy because of the stock market. Isn't that everything you said? Doesn't this sound familiar? Kim Amanda is banned. Get rid of her. We don't allow that, Kim. Kim, get a better looking picture. You're not hot enough to contact. She's a fake. She's a bot. So get rid of her, please. Kimberly, thank you for the $20. So you remember this. I remember this. But if we go back even further, I'm going to show you a video, 2 of them. I'm going to show you one from 1996 where Chuck Schumer's talking about illegals. And I'm going to show you one with Nancy Pelosi when she had her teeth. That's really going to make your hair curl. These are a little longer. And yes, people seem to want me. I'm blowing up Candace Owens tonight again. Yeah, she is. Listen, it's not my job to destroy conservatives. I'm not trying to hurt conservatives. I'm not trying to have us pit against each other. She is not a conservative. She's an anti-Semite who hates Trump now. And if you don't think I can prove it to you, I will prove it to you. Yep, I already played it, Mel. That's what I just played a few minutes ago.
How far?
Here is Nancy Pelosi. And enjoy this.
Does China have to go? How much more repression? How big a trade deficit and loss of jobs for the American worker? And how much more dangerous proliferation has to exist before members of this House of Representatives will say, I will not endorse the status quo? As I mentioned, it's about jobs.
Thank you, Amy.
Proliferation and human rights. And there are those who say we shouldn't link human rights and trade and proliferation and trade. I disagree. But if we just want to take up this issue on the basis of economics alone, indeed, China should not receive most favored nation status for several reasons that I'd like to go into now. I'd like to call the attention of our colleagues to this chart on the status quo that the business community is asking each and every one of us to endorse today. Right now, we have a $34 billion trade deficit with China, the 1995 figure.
I think Estella might be a bot because she hasn't replied. Either embarrass the hell out of her or she hasn't replied. But either way, Estella, if you're real, I wasn't trying to embarrass you. I just was wondering if you're a bot. And usually women who look like internet models and have halter tops and show off their hoo-has usually are fake. We just proved it with Amanda. And if you're not, I wasn't trying to offend you. If that's you, congratulations. If it's not, let us know so we can ban you properly.
Will be over $40 billion for 1996. Since the Tiananmen Square massacre, this figure has increased 1,000%, from $3.5 billion then to about $34 billion now. In terms of tariffs, I think it's interesting to note that the average U.S. MFN tariff on Chinese goods coming into the United States is 2%, whereas the average Chinese MFN tariff on U.S. goods going into China is 35%. Is that reciprocal? On exports, China only allows certain industries into China of U.S.
Thanks, Debbie. Happy early birthday to you as well. I hope you have a great birthday Sunday.
Industries into China, and therefore only 2% of U.S. exports are allowed into China. On the other hand, the U.S. allows China to flood our markets with a third of their exports, and that'll probably go over 40%. And it's limitless because we have not placed any restriction. In terms of jobs, this is the biggest and cruelest hoax of all. Not only do we not have market access, not only do they have prohibitive tariffs.
You preach it, Nancy. Like, I love it. I'm ready to vote for you.
Not only are our exports not let in very specifically, but China benefits with at least 10 million jobs from U.S.-China trade. The president, in his statement requesting this special waiver, said that China trade supports 170,000 jobs in the.
Wow, it's almost like they don't believe what they're saying. But does it stop there? No, because I can show you Joe Biden. Remember the Chinese tariffs that just killed our farmers and we destroyed agriculture in the United States? Oh, the horror. Yeah, they extended those tariffs until right now. Same with the tax cuts. Essentially, everything that Donald Trump did, they undid, or they just extended it. Remember the medicine prices for the 86 different medicines, most popular medicines, including diabetes medicine with insulin? Yeah, well, that was Donald Trump's policy. They let it expire, slapped a new name on it, revoted and pushed it through. This is what happens. This was in 1996. It's not like it hasn't been going on. Donald Trump's been talking about this for 35 years. So what's going to happen now? Well, I'm going to do something that I never do, is I'm going to show you two people who truly explain it better than I. And that's hard for me because I usually think that I do a fairly good job of explaining things. But do I understand tariffs? Sure. Do I understand supply chain? Sure. Do I understand supply side? Do I understand marketing? Do I understand buying in bulk? Do I understand KPI indicators and margin and overall revenue and year-over-year growth? Sure I do. Because I worked with some very, very large companies that worked in the billions, and I oversaw billions of dollars. So I consider myself qualified. Don't let the shirt and the hat fool you. I look pretty good in the tie. There's some evidence of that somewhere, I'm sure. Someone can pull that up for us. But these two do a great job. Former Democrat Batya Ungar-Sargon. She, I think, delivered one of the most compelling arguments for tariffs with Carrie Lake on there. By the way, Carrie, what are you doing now? Aren't you like the ambassador for Donald Trump of something? Like social media ambassador or something like that? It's a far cry from senator and governor. Vice president, remember? Anyway, I don't know what she's doing now, but she's on the panel. Cenk Uyghur's on the panel. Cenk looks like he's put on an extra 40, 50 pounds, which is sad because, I want him to stay healthy so I can continue to make fun of him. But this is probably one of the best. And then I've got a second one, which is also outstanding, and we're going to let them do the talking just so you can listen to it. So I want to give them credit. This is Piers Morgan's show, and here is this. This is one you're going to want to listen to. Take a listen.
What I find so frustrating about the conversation around tariffs is that we all agree on the problem. We all agree that the deindustrialization of America led to the downward mobility of the American working class, deaths of despair, people working multiple jobs and not being able to afford the American dream.
Right.
We all agree that it is deeply unfair for the American middle class to be bearing the burden of unfair tariffs from other countries. We all agree that it is great for the president to have leverage in order to demand reasonable things, like that countries stop allowing fentanyl to murder 100,000 Americans every year, and that Mexico do its part to police its own border. And yet when somebody has the courage to show up and say to Wall Street, screw you, I am waiting.
I freaking love this woman, by the way. I saw this and I'm just like, you go, sister. Like, former Democrat, would love her on my show. She's got that fire. This is what we need to be like. This, when this panel in particular isn't talking, then you know she's good. We need people like Scott Jennings. We need people like her. Hell, I'll say we need people like me, because I've been doing this shit for 4 years. And I don't apologize for calling out conservatives, calling out liberals, calling out the left, calling out the right, because I don't care about party loyalty. I'm not vying for a cabinet position with Donald Trump, and I don't need his help to be successful. It'd be nice. I would love it if Donald Trump wrote me a check or got me on and did a show with me. I would love that. But the chances of that happening, I might as well shit in one hand and wish in the other and see which one fills up first. But these are the people who will be successful, because it wasn't that Joe Rogan changed. It's that people went back and sampled what he's been doing for the last 10 years and saying, this guy isn't fake. He's been doing it for 10 years. I hope that happens here, where one day people go back and listen to the work we've been doing for 4 years and go, aha, this guy's not a phony. He's been doing this since the beginning. Former Democrat, I love her attitude.
I'm waging class warfare on behalf of the American working class, and you elites in Wall Street, you do what you need to do, because I'm not going to stop fighting for the American working class. Suddenly, everybody is sitting around going, oh no, the stock market. Yeah, the stock market looks like that because the rich are punishing Trump for siding with the neglected and humiliated American working class over them. We have already seen these tariffs work, Pierce. The number of people crossing the southern border is at zero. Fentanyl is at record lows for the last 10 years. We have already seen $1.2 trillion in manufacturing invested in this country since January 20.
Yeah, and Ford, and you got car companies literally within days now expanding their workforce by like 35% in lieu of what quarter two, quarter three, and quarter four projections look like. Why is the stock market divesting right now? Why? When quarter two projections are supposed to be through the roof. You want my prediction? Let me tell you, go ahead and do a sell-off in the market, get people to panic, and then go ahead and buy big. Because quarter two's projections are supposed to be lights out. Especially for auto manufacturers, retail, commodities are supposed to be strong. Well, we just saw this, three days ago? We saw this huge drop and people are flipping out. And then what happened? Boom, people bought back in. So do it again. Make the market low, buy low, sell high. Do we really think that this is going to continue? Do you really think with positive projections in quarter two and the positive outlook that the market is seeing, the only reason to sell is because of the tariffs? So this is a reactionary sell-off. Do you really think it's going to drop 20,000 points and we're going to have the Black Sunday? Let's be honest. I'll tell you, Rachel Orlando asked for the lady's name. I'll tell you right after this. Matt, are you one of those people that vote for the party that is going to do the best for you in your situation? I used to be. I would have voted for Bill Clinton. I happen to vote for Ross Perot. You're going to hate me, but I voted for Obama. I got duped and I got suckered. But I could not continue to support the Republican Party. I couldn't. I couldn't. Not with what happened in Iraq. I couldn't. Not with the lies that we were told. And do I regret Obama in his first term? I certainly did not vote for him in his second. So there was a point where I believed that we needed change, and I was naive. But that was a long time ago. It was 20 years ago. And then in 2016, I did not vote for Trump because he was a lifelong Democrat and Hillary was a war hawk. And I despised her for what she did in Benghazi and her server. But I didn't know anything about Trump. Nobody did. And then he released his Supreme Court list. But I had already told myself I wasn't going to vote in the presidential election. And I kept my word. I voted down ticket and everything else, of course, and all the propositions in California. And then I absolutely, without any doubt or equivocation, voted for him in 2020 and 24. But one thing I will not do is lie. So will I vote for the party that is going to be best for me in my situation? Not anymore. I will never vote for a Democrat ever again, unless it's one person, Harold Ford Jr. That's it. If Harold Ford Jr. decides to run, I will vote for him. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Now, the only way I wouldn't if Youngkin is, or someone of his stature is running against him. Because I think Youngkin is going to be one of the best presidents we've ever had if we can just get him in office. Because he has the temperament that's necessary to be successful and bring people together, and he's a hell of a businessman. So to answer your question, I will never vote for a liberal again. Ever. Unless it's Harold Ford Jr. Because I think Harold Ford Jr. is a genius. So now you vote for what's best for your country now. No. I vote for who will protect the Constitution of the United States. That's who I vote for. The person who votes to protect the Constitution of the United States. That's who I vote for. There was another question. The American dream. So the American dream is to buy a house? The American dream is that you have the ability of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You are guaranteed life and liberty. Happiness is on you. So you get to define that, not a government, not some bill, not some obscure passage in the Constitution. The American dream is the guaranteed rights that are inherent in all men, endowed by the Creator and natural law. That's the answer. It's not a house. It's not a material thing. It's not some sort of aesthetic. This is something that defines you. This is something that gives you the purpose to go after your dream. And that is defined only by you. Nobody promises you a house. Nobody promises you health insurance. Nobody promises you a new car. You are promised life and liberty so you can go about seeking happiness. That is the American dream. So when somebody asks me, what is it, a house? I don't know. That's not my idea of the American dream. My idea of American dream is that I get to sit here and I get to do this for a living and I get to build relationships with people, no matter how small or large that may become. This is my dream. My dream is that my dog and I can go in my front yard and work on rain gutters today, and she sit by my side and not move at least 3 yards away from me at any time. I love my kids when they come home and give me a big hug, or my daughter says something smart ass. And I love when my wife walks up and brushes up against me and drapes her hand across my back every time she comes home. That's awesome. My dream is to continue to pursue happiness through the development and recreation of who I am as a person. That is my idea of happiness. And that starts with education. It starts with sweat. It starts with perseverance. It starts with a little bit of humility to increase and gain confidence to take bigger challenges and not be afraid to break it down. That's my American dream. So I can't define it for you. That's up to you. Here's the rest.
21st. So they have already worked. Now, how long is Wall Street going to keep trying to punish this president for standing the American working class? I don't know, but I can tell you that the view from the street is people cannot believe that there is a president who is working for them, who is putting them first and telling Wall Street to go screw itself. Wall Street, which picked the Democrats for the last 3 election cycles in a row. That's what the real story is here. American Compass did a survey of just GOP voters.
That is such an important part of what she just said. Listen to what she just said. Sandy, you're absolutely right. Thank you so much. Democrats have not offered a choice to their constituents for the last 3 elections. 12 years. They have forced a candidate on you without by your leave, without your consent. They have removed your ability of consent. And without that, then they no longer have the consent of the governed. That is the quid pro quo in this situation. That is the stasis that has been here since the beginning of this republic, is that the consent of the government is given to the government on a temporary basis based on their performance and obligations to the people. So when you go ahead and you have Bernie Sanders winning in 2016, and then they all of a sudden stick in super delegates and steal it from him and shove Hillary Clinton down your throat. In 2020, when you have Pete Buttigieg and Bernie Sanders leading in the first 3 primaries, and then they bring up a racist trope, and then all of a sudden, Joe Biden picks Kamala Harris to show that he's blackish, and then they shove him down your throat. And then in 2024, you had Joe Biden stolen from you, liberals. Remember this, the great white hope, the great communicator, the bringer of peace, Joe Biden, the experienced politician who would reach across the aisle and never call us fascist or Nazis or extremists or MAGA extremists. No, he would never do that. Removed his ass after apologizing for his idiocy and mental faculties on breakdown for 4 years and stuck you with the least popular Democrat ever to serve, Kamala Harris. Deborah McLaughlin, thank you, hon. Couldn't even get a primary tick mark in California. She was hated so much. The largest socialist in the entire Congress had the worst voting record. The only person second to her was Tulsi Gabbard, who you guys love, who I'm still going, wait, what? They have stolen your candidate from you for 12 years. And you guys still want to talk about democracy.
Know now that the majority of Americans who make under $100,000 a year now vote for the Republican Party. So that was almost a means-tested poll. And they found that 77% of GOP voters, the working class, not the elites, said that when they were asked, they said they would be willing to pay higher prices if it meant bringing back manufacturing, because of course, in their mind, they are going to be the beneficiaries of those manufacturing jobs. About
Yes.
Canada, a lot of people are asking, why Canada? We love Canada. Canada are our friends. Why wage this, tariff war on Canada? And of course, the answer is simple. Canada and Mexico are the back door to the American economy.
That's it.
Because we have this trade deal with them, the USMCA.
Yes.
So if there are no tariffs on China, if Canada and Mexico do not match our tariffs on China, China simply builds car manufacturing plants in Canada and in Mexico, which they have already done. And they use that in order to get tariff-free cars into the American market, which is exactly what President Trump is trying to get away
I want to have her babies.
from. So what he wants from them is for them to close that back door. And I just want to emphasize again, you know, back in the 70s, when the majority of the GDP in America was in the middle class, right? That's kind of like the golden era that we look back to of when the economy was really healthy and working class people felt that they could afford a middle class life. 25% of our economy was in manufacturing. Today, the top 10% control over 60% of the GDP. And that is a direct result of the fact that only 10% of our economy is manufacturing. And the largest share, 20%, is in finance and real estate.
And to add to that, sister, nice tag team. Here we go. If you take a look at overall increase over the last 20 years of imports and exports, we are once again, for like the 17th year in a row, at a flat zero on exports, and we have increased imports by 20%. This has been going on year over year over year over year. So our dependency on imports continues to grow, which increases the leverage on the global trade market because we don't get to dictate anything, because we don't export anything, and the status quo remains in place. So when you have these massive trade deficits, people are like, wait a second, deficit is good. Yes, deficit is not a horrible thing, but there are limitations when you have no growth. Because if you don't grow and expand your footprint into exports, you don't keep up with the valuation of the American dollar. And therefore, the weight of what was good or what was strong in 2010 is not equivalent to what's happening in 2025. So if you have a 0% 0% export growth, and every single year you add 20% imports, you are a buyer. And your selling power has dwindled. This has constantly increased a massive deficit between us and countries we buy from and make exceptionally rich. So when the Democrats are telling you, oh, well, deficit is a good thing, some deficit imbalance, of course it is, because we consume more than anyone else in the world. But that doesn't mean you want to run as high as deficit as possible, because the nuance is that somehow that's good. It's not. You need growth. You need to expand how much you export in order to keep up with how much you import. Now, do I expect a tit-for-tat relationship on imports and exports? No, we can't. Because we can't do it for those prices. And because we can't do it for those prices, this is what Donald Trump wants. He wants to bring the manufacturers to the United States. Therefore, we can start exporting things and be competitive on the global stage. So yes, your stock is going to take a hit. Yes, prices probably will go up. Yes, we might see some inflation. But when Donald Trump says it's transitory, it will be. This is not a permanent reciprocal tariff game. We don't want it, or else he would have done the exact amount of the trade deficit with these countries. That, you think the stock market's bad now, these are reciprocal tariffs, and they are a portion of the deficit. It's not that they have, when you saw that chart, 34% and 64%, that China is charging us 34% more tariffs. No. That's the deficit. That's to demonstrate to you how much the deficit in our trade deals are. It's not the tariffs. And what Donald Trump did was apply a tariff to these people to make up for the deficit. What that does is increase manufacturing costs in these companies overseas. What does that do? It increases prices. Yes, and Americans are going to have to pay for it a little bit. But what it also does is gets American manufacturers going, wait a second. You're telling me that this product is now 30% more and we can go ahead and charge it for 15 to 20% to the United States government? And we will make that much margin still and we'll be ultra competitive on the global market? I'm building a plant. And that's what's going to happen. Have a wonderful birthday, young man. Joseph Hillstrom. Thanks, buddy. This isn't hard. But what you need to do is take the politics out of it and call the good with the bad. And I'm giving you the good with the bad. I'm telling you, yes, it's going to hurt a little bit. But it is temporary. It is transitory. And us bailing and the stock market fat cats bailing, they're not serious. They are driving the price down so they can buy cheap and sell high. This happens all the time. This isn't a correction. They're not divesting. They're not going into a commodity like gold or silver and completely getting out of NASDAQ. That's not what's happening. What they're doing is they're sending a message that they don't like the tariffs, that they don't like the instability. They're driving the price down so people bail and sell so they can come in and buy low.
Of course, how other countries artificially we have artificially inflated the dollar, which makes the product of the American worker unaffordable. And so what the tariffs are doing are simply saying we are refusing the race to the bottom in wages. It is unfair to the American worker, which I think we have all basically agreed on at this point. What I find so far,
she's getting a lot of flack. And her name is Betya Ungar Sargon. You should listen to her because she's damn good. And I love what she had to say. This video is actually from a young man who does a very good job. This is a great breakdown. I usually don't do this. What I usually do is I look into it, I identify key talking points, I go ahead and give you the left, the right, and I give you the middle, right? But occasionally people crush it. And this guy does a great job. And this is really simplistic. There's really not a labor or a language gap here. Just listen to him. And if you miss something, let me know. 2 minutes, 52 seconds. This is a damn good one. This guy is good as well. Here it is.
Whatever you think of Trump, his economic plan makes complete sense. The US has 36 trillion in debt. In 2025, they will spend 6 trillion, but will only collect 4 trillion in revenue. So they need to borrow 2 trillion, and this will increase their debt to 38 trillion. Trump economic plan is based on 3 levers. Number 1, cut expenses by 1 trillion, which is Doge, Elon Musk. He's targeting waste and fraud, like social security payments for people who are 150 years old. That is just fraud. 2, increasing revenue by 1 to 2 trillion through, number 1, tariffs. They will increase tariffs from 50 billion to 500 billion target. People will say, but other countries will retaliate. They will not be able to do it. The US is the biggest customer on earth. They consume 20 trillion every year. They are the biggest.
And if you don't understand that, let me explain to you what it would be like. Imagine if Apple said that it would no longer sell to people with college degrees. What do you think would happen to Apple? Because if you take a look at Apple's business, it is predominantly white, between the ages of 30 and 50, 4-year degree or more, upper middle class people who their demographic is. Can you imagine if Apple said, if you have a 4-year degree, we're no longer selling to you? They can't. They can't afford to do it because they would go from selling 100 to 120 million phones to selling 70 million phones. That would be devastating. It would destroy Apple in a heartbeat. This is the same thing. The United States is the biggest customer on the planet Earth by far. And if you want to go ahead and negate, you have to make that somewhere else. If you want to shave the overall revenue that generates from the United States of America through trade of exports to import into the U.S., and you want to go ahead and you want to put a 50% tariff, 25% tariff, whatever it is, you have to make that margin somewhere else. And first of all, you're not going to get the dividend return that you're getting from the United States because we have a trade deficit, which means you make more margin than you lose. But if you decide to go to the UK or go to Canada or go to South America, they don't have the overall selling power and buying power that the United States does. Therefore, your prices won't be better. So you have to buy more or sell more to make up for it with less. So that is why the United States is a customer that this is all window dressing. The EU, they're blowing smoke. Now, the EU has an amazing buying power, and the EU ultimately was to compete with the United States as a collective because it couldn't do it singularly. But they're still not as strong as the United States, and the EU needs us. This isn't difficult, folks. Here's the rest.
Importer. They import 3 trillion every year. Plus, the current tariffs is actually not fair. Why should US cars entering Europe faces 10% tariffs, while the European cars entering the US just pay 2.5%? It's not fair. And because of the tariff changes, it now makes economic sense to build factories and businesses inside the US again.
Wow, it's almost
that
like you've
means
heard that
more
before.
jobs, means tax-paying businesses, and more foreign investment coming in. He will also increase.
And also an important thing, gentlemen, sir, I don't know your name. The thing that people aren't talking about is it makes us competitive on the innovative market, something we are not. We're good at movies and rock and roll. That's about it. We're even getting outpaced on weapon systems. France is becoming one of the global arms dealers. The United States, when we get manufacturing, you also get R&T, research and technology, and you get multi-billion-dollar companies putting money into the United States, hiring and training innovative workers. And competition breeds creativity. How to bring things to market cheaper and faster. That is what we need to do. Intellectual property, which is not snagged by China, because we are not literally selling it to the highest bidder, so we get the lowest price. We can start keeping some of this innovation. We can become frugal with what we allow out. We can start hitting IP lawsuits against some of these companies on the global market, because the more buying power we have, the richer we are, the more difficult it becomes on these countries to steal our technology. But when you are literally behind by $700 billion a year in a trade deficit, you have no leverage. You're giving it all away for free. We need to go after China. We need to go after Hong Kong. We need to go after South American countries that are stealing our IP. So you also get that benefit by bringing these manufacturers here, where innovation and technology, research and technology will stay in the United States. That is a huge win, especially finding a way to get off some of these mass-produced, like Taiwanese semiconductor, that are responsible for our phones, of how we can get off the tit of the South Pacific Taiwanese semiconductor market. How we can get off pharmaceuticals bought in Canada. How we can start manufacturing on our own on the global market and start exporting more. This is absolutely 100% the best plan for us that I've heard. And tariffs, what they used to be, the boogeyman, are no longer the boogeyman, because they're being used against us. And we're saying, well, we can't stand up for ourselves because people will get mad. Well, you said that about ISIS and Al-Qaeda. You said that about the Middle East with the Abraham Accords. You said that about Jerusalem. You said that about the border wall. You said that of stopping fentanyl and opioids coming in from 16 to 19, lowest it's ever been. You've said that about everything. You said that about North Korea, harboring North Korean terrorists and bringing Taliban to the United States to have a ceasefire for 18 months, no Americans killed. You've said all this before. The sky is always falling with liberals. You said this about the Paris Climate Accord. You said this about the Iran nuclear deal. Don't you remember what you said in 2017? They'll have a nuclear weapon in 3 years. Guess what? It's almost been 10 years and they don't have one. Because all liberals do is lie. They are so afraid of success because success for conservatives means power, and they lust for it. They snake their lust for it. Melanie, happy birthday, Matt. Happy birthday, Melanie, whenever yours is. Thank you so much.
Revenue by deregulation. He will remove unnecessary regulations and rules, making it easier to do business so business can grow faster, generate more tax revenues. He also make this gold card, which is offering lifetime US residency for 5 million. I think at least 1 or 2 million individuals globally can afford it. So if just 10% of them, if just 100,000 people buy this card, that's 1 trillion in incremental revenue. The third lever is he will reduce taxes. If he successfully cut 1 trillion in waste and expenses and add 1 to 2 trillion in revenue, the US will have a surplus. They will have more money than they want.
And
so
then we get to cut taxes. You know what that means? Do you know what that means for seniors? Do you know what that means for people in college? Do you know what that means for mom and dad who are trying to make ends meet and need to buy a new pair of sneakers for all 4 of their kids? Hello, cutting taxes. Because remember the tax breaks? Remember that, how they were evil and they were going to destroy all the ag and the government was going to shut down? Yeah, you know the ones in 2021 that Joe Biden and the Democrats extended till 2025, and now all of those benefits that we got from Donald Trump are going to fall off right now. This tax year, April 15th. If they were so bad, why did the Democrats pass them? Why did they re-up them? Because they're lying to you. Because this is what they do. It's all about fear. And they think Donald Trump, I tell you what, if the stock market drops by 5,000, Trump's not going to win. He won't. Because he can't. Because if we hit 50 trillion, it's game effing over. Every economist in the world, every one of them, believes that somewhere around that 50 trillion mark, we will default on our debt. And we will not be able to keep up with the interest anymore. And if we do that, we're done. Our credit rating goes down. The ability of printing cash stops. The dollar will tank because what we're doing is essentially currency manipulation, the same thing that we complain about with China and Russia and England and other countries. We're doing the same thing because we are printing money for any type of value to that dollar is based on a myth. Every time you print, you dilute the valuation of the dollar. How many trillions of dollars have we printed out? It's pretty simple. 38 trillion now. How is our dollar worth anything when we have nothing? We are basing it on our revenue, and we don't pull in enough to balance. So we are adding trillions a year. Can you imagine if a credit card company allowed you to go ahead and put hundreds of thousands of dollars on your credit card every single year and didn't default or take you to court? This is what the United States is doing, but it's not $100,000. It's not $1 million. It's not $1 billion. It's in the trillions. At some point, that has to stop. And the $50 trillion mark is going to be that time. And if we don't balance this and we don't get a surplus now, if we don't see GNP growth, we need to be pushing it up at 4, 5%. We need to have record GNP growth to offset this. Yes, some of these cuts are going to suck. And yes, some of your friends are going to lose their jobs. But folks, it's do or die time. We already had sex with a hooker. It doesn't help to put the condom on now. We need a shot of penicillin and some Z-Packs. And it's going to hurt a little bit while we pee. But eventually, things will get better.
Taxes. For individuals, anyone gaining more than 150K, he will make them pay 0 taxes. And on corporate taxes, he will go down from the current 21% to 15%, compared to the European average of 22%. France average is 25, I think, and Germany is 30. So at 15% corporate tax, the US will become one of the most business attractive countries on earth. Bottom line, this is exactly how a government should be run, efficiently. Because when you eliminate waste, the money can actually go where it is actually needed, to the elderly, to the sick, to people who cannot work. And that is the real purpose of government, to protect the weak. Very few countries have the political will to do it. It takes leaders with backbone, charisma, and clarity of vision. Do you have leaders in your country pushing for real reform, or are they talking about non-relevant side topics? And let me know if you think Trump's plan is bad, let me know why, because I think it is just common sense.
Two very, very articulate and poignant videos. I'm hearing people saying, I don't like the gold card. Why? Do you understand what that means and why he's doing that? Who wants to try to explain it for me? Because I'm going to explain it in a way that hopefully helps. But I'm going to tell you why he's doing it. Who wants to take a stab at it? Why is Donald Trump doing the gold card? And I'll explain to you why. Give it a second. Why is he doing the gold card? So let's take a look. If he sells 1,000 of these cards at $5 million apiece, fair enough? What does that make? It's $5 billion. So if he sells 10,000, it's $50 billion. If he sells 100,000, it's $500 billion. It's a big piece of money, but it's more important than that. And let me tell you why. Because what you're not considering is that two things are taking place when you sell the gold card. You are getting a vetted, qualified, rich human being to come into the United States with a lot of money. So that's one. Productive people who are going to be taxed. Productive people who are going to open up new businesses. Productive people who are going to open up new manufacturing plants to get a piece of that 30 points of gross margin, because China or Malaysia or India or Vietnam no longer can corner the market with cheap labor. So in order to build all of those manufacturing plants, you're going to need rich people here. So that's number one. What does that look like? If we just say 1,000 people, does it bring, I don't know, 20 manufacturing plants? 100? Is it bring 50,000 jobs, 200,000 jobs? When those people start making, do they invest into the United States even more? Of course they do. But one thing you need to understand is that it negates the illegals currently in this country who suck our government dry for $72,000. $72,000 is what it takes for these illegals, the impact it has of sucking our government dry with benefits in missed revenue, missed taxes. So if you look at that $76,000, that's roughly 70 illegals each time. So now if you get 1,000 people who do it, you get 70,000 illegals that are counteracted by the productivity of 1,000 people. You get 700,000 when you get the productivity of 10,000. You get 7 million when you get the productivity of 100,000. Do you understand? Donald Trump is not stupid, and selling these citizenships at a very small incremental level of selling 1,000 of them or 10,000 or 100,000 does nothing to the immigration problem in this country. In fact, it helps it, and it negates tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of illegals. That's why you do this. You're having other countries and other people pay for the illegal problem we have here. Because let's face it, he's not going to be able to get rid of 20 million people. This is what the gold card is. Do you get it? Good. We'll be right back. Folks, 123.89 out of 300. I wasn't feeling too hot, but I'm doing okay now. 8:30. We've got a lot to cover. And now is your chance to donate if you haven't had a chance. Go to thedumbshow.com/donate. You can go into Venmo, PayPal, or mail if you want to. And let us know that you appreciate the show. We are 100% funded by you, and we need your help. Also, go over to Wimkin.com. Get yourself registered. We love Wimkin. Great company. We love Jason Shepard and the Wimkin team. If you go over there, you go to Wimkin.com, pick a profile pic, give them your email, give them your username. Don't forget it. And within 24 hours, Jason will get you approved. You're not going to get an email because they don't send emails, because Comcast and Google and others have blocked Jason and team. Because the January 6th committee went through all the different social medias and said, give us your list of users and all their personal information. And they complied, and Jason didn't. He refused. He said, you're not getting my personal information of my users without a warrant, without a subpoena, and taking me to court. It's not going to happen. January 6th committee didn't like that. So they used big tech to censor him, and they have continued to do that. They've shut down his bank accounts. They've shut down his email. Go over to Wimkin.com, sign up. It is a social media platform. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Rumble, all into one. And you can follow The Dumb Show over there. We have a check mark. You can also find Laura Logan over there. It's one of her networks. Roseanne Barr, myself, Jerry Kruger, all over there. And say hello to us on Wimkin. I'll be right back.
Join Wimkin.com, the social media platform built for free speech and true connection. No censorship, no algorithms controlling your feed, just genuine conversations and a commitment to protecting your rights. Sign up today at Wimkin.com and take back your voice. Tell them Matt and The Dumb Show sent you.
One more.
The Dumb Store is veteran-owned with a 5-star diamond rating for service and satisfaction. We offer quality products like coffee, shirts, hoodies, and hats, all made by veterans. Shop with confidence, backed by hundreds of 5-star reviews. Use code DUMB10 to save 10%. Visit thedumbshow.com today. Thank you for your support.
Hey, if you don't know, we have a new product over on The Dumb Show. The Dumb Show hoodie. And actually has our original logo on the back with a picture of Leroy, Olivia, and myself with our autographs also attached, which is kind of a cool thing and is a very cool graphic. You should come and take a look. You can also buy coffee over there, hats, the shirt I'm wearing right now, whatever you want. It is a 5-star rated store, and it has a huge, huge following. We've done almost 5,000 transactions. We have almost 200 5-star ratings. I think it's 241 now. And go on over there and get yourself some Dumb Show gear. You can use code DUM10, DUM10, to get yourself a discount. A couple of other things we got to get to. I know we've got some other questions, but I want to make sure we do get to it tonight. Is pretty sad situation. But first I want to get to the Candace Owens story because this one's important. And I know we've missed a couple topics over the last couple nights because we've ran long. And I don't want to do that tonight. I'm going to try not to. Candace Owens is now saying that there are a cabal of Jews and they're in control of Donald Trump and RFK Jr. to do Israel's bidding. This is the last straw. I can say with no equivocation, look you in the eye and say, I understand why people get upset and say, hey, don't go after conservatives. Stick with the Democrats. I completely understand. Fuck Candace Owens. She is a grifter. She is a person who was broken by Ben Shapiro. She has now railed against Jews and is entertaining the likes of people who I struggle to find value in. People like Jake Shields, people like Nick Fuentes, people like Stu Peters. And yes, even the Hodge twins have done this too. And I really, really admire and like the Hodge twins. But there is this anger towards Jews. And I told you on October 8th, after October 7th happened, two things were going to happen. That the Jews unequivocally would destroy Gaza to its last remaining brick, and man, woman, or child who did not get out within 30 days would be fair game. And they were, because that's what the Jews do. They don't care. You hit them with a Nerf gun, they nuke your ass. And the second thing I told you is that you were about to find out who really people were, because the Jews have been hated for 3,200 years and castigated out of over 170 countries, not because they have done something wrong, is the fact that they've done it right. I'm willing to argue with anyone. Yes, you can tell me about the Talmud. You can tell me about the USS Liberty. You can tell me about your crazy shit about 9/11 conspiracies. You can tell me about Gaza. You can tell me about the Canaanites. You can go ahead and tell me about the Philistines. And we can ramble about the Middle East and even the coinage or any type of clothing or spoons or pottery to go ahead and try to carbon date to decide who was where and where was what. None of it matters. The point is that 100%, without any equivocation, Jews have a right to live, just like everybody else, just like Muslims. Do Palestinians have a right to live? Well, there's no such thing as Palestine. And that's the way this goes. Because your argument is, well, there was no such thing as Israel in 1940s. Israel has always been there. Palestinians were not. Now, we can sit here and play semantics. You can tell me how they run the porn industry, which is true. There are a lot of Jews who run the porn industry and the music industry and Hollywood and everything else. And you can tell me that AICPAC goes ahead and gives a lot of money to politicians. That's true. But so does Planned Parenthood. So does the NRA. So does Big Tobacco. So does the Ag Department. So does the Teachers Union. Our politicians are bought and paid for. Why should the Jews be any different? And if you believe that Saudi Arabia isn't buying people as a Muslim country, you're full of shit. And if you don't believe that England goes ahead and invests in politicians, you're also full of shit. And China and Japan and Hong Kong and everyone else, because we all know bought and paid for the Democratic Party by the Chinese. Let's stop pretending that the Jews are the root of all evil and 0.07% of the population is responsible for all the travesty in the world. Here's Candace Owens. And if you disagree with me, explain this to me. Help me understand it, because she now is going after Donald Trump hard. Here it is.
You've got the Human Health Secretary, RFK Jr., saying, oh, we have to declare this an epidemic. And what we're really talking about is people voicing opinions against Israel's policies on blowing up Palestinian kids. You can accept that or you cannot accept that. It is just the reality. And if you don't understand how close we are inching to them destroying free speech, and once speech goes, everything else goes, then you need to start paying attention. They are redefining anti-Semitism to even be parts of the Bible. They are saying that it is anti-Semitism, and the Trump administration is pushing this on college campuses, to even suggest that a Jewish person might be more loyal to Israel than they are to America. That's totally plausible. It's totally plausible that a black person in America might be more loyal to Uganda than they are to America. Look at that. That is like, why are we redefining this? Portions of the Bible? I mean, it's getting crazy. So I want to show you this Senate hearing. So they had another Senate hearing, like the one that I showed up on, except this one, it was on anti-Semitism on college campuses. And I want you to listen to what this rabbi got up and said as he called for hate speech laws. Okay, this is Rabbi Levi Shemtov. He is the executive vice president of American Friends of Lubavitch. This is like a Lubavitcher who I spoke about. And RFK Jr. came and said, don't speak about Lubavitch. And I said, this is actually a very radical form of Judaism. Here is what he said. Listen to him standing up. Rabbi Levi Shemtov. Here's what he wants for America.
Anti-Semitism is not just an age-old prejudice. It is a contemporary crisis manifesting on campuses across the nation. It is not enough for individuals or institutions to merely claim they are not anti-Semitic. As my father once taught me, it is not enough for people, especially public figures, to be neutral or not be anti-Semitic. One must be anti-Semitic.
That is the exact same rhetoric, okay, as Ibram X. Kendi during the peak of BLM saying it's not enough to be racist, you have to actively be anti-racist. It's the exact same rhetoric, okay? There's no way to slice it. So what is happening right now that we, meaning the people who voted for and have supported Trump for years and got him into office because we actually were standing up to him when BLM was going crazy and calling everybody white supremacists, and people, while Trump was in office, there were George Floyd riots, people that stood up for him and said, this is wrong, are now watching his administration execute the exact same thing, but this time it's for anti-Semitism. And it's not even for anti-Semitism, really. It's because this is not helpful to Jews in America. It's for Israel. Like, it feels like Netanyahu is running the White House and Trump's just signing and doing whatever they say, right? It feels like Netanyahu should be sitting in the Oval Office as they demand hate speech laws and they get what they want. Every day they're announcing something that they're going to do to further support Israel. And that something is now looking to me like a detriment to American freedom. And if you can't see that, okay, it is time for you to take off the rose-colored glasses. Because just because Trump was against all of this in 2016 does not mean that he does not have people that are around him who are for this now that we are in 2025.
She's such a coward. Why don't you just say the following words? Donald Trump is a traitor to his race. So he's a race traitor and he's a Jew lover. Just say it. Just get it out there. Why don't any of you pussies have the ability to just say what you mean? I don't have a problem with Jews. I have a problem with Zionism. Then you have a problem with Jews. I don't have a problem with Jews. They're just dirty. They're greedy. They're conniving. Everybody knows what you think. If I'm a Jew lover and I'm simping for the Jews, as all the groypers say, fuck, I miss you guys. Would you please come back so I can fucking destroy you some more? Where's Beardson? I see him taking down people all the time. He didn't take us down. Where is he again? He never came back. I should show that video where Beardson came on and he's like, oh, you know what? You guys are actually pretty good people, blah, 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 blah. But everything he argued, we just boom, 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 every time. And it always came back to the same thing. What does this have to do with you hating Jews? Why are you holding grudges from 75 years ago? Why are you digging up the troves of the greatest Aryan hits and rekindling the passion of hating Jews that's been done for 3,200 years? What are you trying to accomplish? So you want to kill all Jews, okay? That's what you want to do? You just want to just flatten Israel and kill them? Great. Where do you think the United States is? Where do you think the United States is in the plan of the Muslims? Because when they don't have Jews to kill, they kill each other. Do people even understand what the Middle East is and the supposed talk that you hear from the groypers and the people who are anti-Zionist is they sit here and say the following: Muslims love Christians. What? Have you even been to a Muslim country? Have you ever spent time with anyone overseas? Have you been to Kenya? Have you been to UAE? Have you been to Egypt? Have you been to Morocco? Have you been to Somalia? What are you talking about? Why? Because in the Quran, they don't necessarily disrespect Jesus. Christians are beheaded. Christians are infidels. What do you think happened with the Moors and the Saxons? Who were the Moors? Where were they from? What happened with the Persians? What about the Romans? To sit here and say that Muslims love Christians, I don't know what you're smoking, but you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But I can tell you what, there's Orthodox churches in Israel. Christians are accepted, even homosexuals, lesbians, and gays. You have Jews and Gentiles. You have Muslims. You have Orthodox. You've got every type of religion in Israel. Oh, well, some of the Jews spit on Christians. Yes, they do. And Westboro Baptists go ahead and call all veterans homosexuals and go ahead and protest their graves. And Hell on Wheels had to come in, or what are they? Thunder, Wheels of Thunder? God, I can't remember the name of the group. Veteran group had to protect these. Opus Dei Catholics. Little off. And don't even get me started on Mormons. Why don't we stop pretending that Jews are the root of all evil? And why don't you take some personal fucking responsibility? Because isn't that what conservatism is? Isn't it about you taking responsibility for who you are? You sound like some whiny fucking liberals is what you sound like. And I'm so tired. You know what? I'm just tired of not talking plainly. And yes, I'm going to curse. You sound like a bunch of pussies. Oh, Jews are so bad. They're so mean. Oh, I can't get into school. I need affirmative action for white people because Jews are smarter than me. Rolling Thunder. Thank you, Thomas. I know the president. Enough. What do we want? Affirmative action for white people? Oh, those Jews, you own everything. How about we stop pretending? Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump are not best of friends. And if you have not looked, that relationship has soured just a little bit. If you want to take a look at the tariffs that Donald Trump put on Israel, take a look at the number. Donald Trump isn't very happy with the state of Israel right now, and he's creating a quagmire for the Middle East in the peace talks. And Benjamin Netanyahu needs to shut up and get in line. Get the job done, and let's move forward. I'm tired of all the Jew haters. And anytime you want to come on. And Candace Owens, listen, I understand you lost a huge contract with Daily Wire. I understand you left. I understand you got your own show. You're a beautiful young lady. You're super smart, but you're just cashing in on the Jew hate. And honestly, it's beneath you. Actually, no, it's not. It is you. You are one of those people now. Congratulations. You're a fucking anti-Semite. And someone who is black should probably understand that a little bit better. And a white person, some guy, a white middle-aged veteran shouldn't be telling you that. If you guys continue to watch Candace Owens, I don't care. That's fine. Just don't expect me to take it easy on her because she's no friend of MAGA. She's no friend of Donald Trump. And she certainly is no friend of Jews. Here is a great video of Jordan Peterson that I thought was just great. And honestly, I don't even care what Jordan Peterson says here. I care about this Tyson Hockley kid. I don't know who he is, and I don't mean to disrespect him by calling him a kid. He's got 1 million views on one of his videos. I can do that on Facebook. I can't do that on Twitter. I'm lucky if 5 people like my shit on Twitter. By the way, if you follow us on Twitter, please like our stuff. But Tyson Hockley's got a nice little page, and he ran into Jordan Peterson, and I just want to say this was a class act. You could tell the kid was nervous. And he asked some really strong questions, and I love Jordan's answer. But more importantly, I love the way the kid did it. Listen to this. By the way, folks, 123.89 to goal. I'm only going to be on for a little bit longer. I am not feeling hot, and then I'm going to jump off. So if we want to make our goal tonight, we're going to have to dig deep and get that going. So please, if you have a chance, make it happen. Here, watch this video.
Nice to meet you.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
What's your name?
Tyson. I'm a podcaster. I did an interview with Andy.
I see.
Yeah. So I was wondering, would you be down just to do like a quick one question interview for my channel? Like
sure.
Just one question.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think about these theories that are kind of going around right now that Jewish Zionists control the world? What do you think about people that are saying that?
Well, they've been saying it for 2,000 years. So it's a quick way for dimwits to gain moral virtue at the expense of other people.
Do you believe in that stuff? Because it's gaining a lot of popularity. And why do you think narratives like that may not be true stick on and gain so much popularity? I see on Twitter all that stuff, but that's not necessarily to say it's true, but it spreads like wildfire. So why do you think that narrative in specific, that Jewish people control the world?
Do you see Jordan Peterson, how he listens and he's trying to understand the question, not for his own benefit, because he could probably give it an answer that he thumbs through and could still win the day, But the fact that he listens to understand, and once he understands, he answers it. But just if you look at the intensity and the sincerity in his face when he's listening to this kid, it's great. Come on.
Say it's true, but it spreads like wildfire. So why do you think that narrative in specific, that like Jewish people control the world?
It's easy for people to find someone to blame,
right?
Rather than trying to do something useful themselves.
So it's like scapegoating, kind of.
Yes, definitely,
for sure.
It's a classic example of that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, thanks so much. Appreciate it. God bless you.
Listen, I don't make money from AIC PAC. I'm not Jewish. Yes, well, I guess I am Jewish. According to the Groypers, because my grandmother was Jewish, therefore I'm Jewish. Fine, I'm a Jew. I don't read the Torah. I don't go to any synagogue. I don't wear a yarmulke. I don't spin a dreta. Paul Rivera, what I can do for now, buying car parts sucks. The dummies will come through. Great show, Matt. Good topics. Hey, Paul, you have always come through. We appreciate you. I'm not going to apologize. Am I a Zionist? Yeah, as much as I am a nationalist. Because I truly believe that Jews have a right to live. They have a right to be a sovereign nation. Do I believe that Saudi Arabia? Yes. Do I believe Iraqis? Uh-huh. Do I believe that the Kurds, the Sunnis, the Shias? Yeah. They have a right to live, but they're not a sovereign nation. That's an ideological class of people. And the Jews are a people, and they're also a religion. But so are Muslims. There's a lot of ethnic and theological races of people that are symbiotic in their belief structure and their overall heritage that recognize themselves as a race, and the Jews do. And honestly, the Muslims recognize them as a race, and the Muslims recognize themselves and the Jews. They recognize the Jewish people. Surprisingly enough, a lot of the Muslims do not like Palestinians for a reason, because they don't believe that the fight is between Palestine. They believe Israel, that's their land. Now, Muslims want to take it, but that doesn't mean that they don't recognize the claim of Israel's claim to that land, and the war is between them. And if you talk to most Muslims, they'll tell you that. You talk to Muslim extremists, and everyone's fucking infidels that aren't Muslims. In fact, it even says that in their doctrine, in their creed, that you either conform to Allah, the one true God, or you're an infidel. I'm a Jewish Nazi. That's true. Totally true. I've been called both. But it doesn't matter. But I also have African-American blood in me too. So am I black? I guess. But that doesn't, just because I've got the blood doesn't, it's stupid. Talking about Nazi ideology. We're all mutts. There's no such thing as purebloods anymore. And even if there were, what a stupid trope. Like somehow you're special because you had no choice of where you were born, who you were born to, or anything else. I always love that. White pride. Why? You had nothing to do with it. You have nothing to do with it. It's like being proud of having brown eyes. Who cares? You didn't do it. Your parents did. And the genetic dice decided that, not you. And that you're an American is by a sheer random dumb luck. So when you sit here and say that God somehow prefers the United States over any other country, give me a break. It's not true. It's not true. God doesn't prefer a country any more than he prefers the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. God is a fan and a testament to men and human beings. Makes no sense. So these people, they can say whatever they want, and they can blame Jews, and I will continue to chastise them and embarrass them, and I will continue to talk shit. But the reason why Nick Fuentes won't debate me is because he can't explain what he wants to achieve. He can only tell you why he dislikes Jews and why he finds them to be heretics. But he can't tell you what he wants. Okay, so what do you want? You want to kill them all? No, I want them to live in their country and I want to live in ours. Okay, so you believe that they are a sovereign country, have the right to defend themselves. So you don't condemn what they're doing to Hamas in Gaza. Is that right? Well, what they're doing is a genocide. It's worse than the Holocaust. No, wait, stop. That's not what we're talking about. What do you want to do to the Jews? And if you ask them, they won't be able to tell you, except for, I want them to stay in their country and I want them, okay. That's not going to happen. You have millions of Jews in this country. It's not going to take place. Now what do you want? You want to silence them? You want to remove their right to speech? You want to punish them? You want to round them up? You want to put them in cattle cars? Because that's what you're accusing them of doing to you, that they're going to take our speech. So what you basically want is just to get to it first. So you're just like the feminist movement. You're just like BLM. You're just like the chauvinists. You want power, and you're upset that somebody else has more power than you. So instead of working for it and fighting for it and unifying people around your message of positivity of how to be influential and successful, someone who is as smart as Nick Fuentes is, and let me tell you, he's a fucking genius. You can say whatever you want, but he has a brand that's all his own, and people will lay in traffic or take a baseball bat to your head because he says so. I'm not naive enough to think that I don't recognize his genius. But there are a lot of geniuses throughout history who were dead wrong on the wrong side of things. And just because you're a genius doesn't mean you can be an asshole. You can't be an asshole. That's my take on it. That is my take on it. Next video. When injustice rises, so do people. At 80 years old, Lynn McFarland refused to be silent, standing her ground against a bill that would deny... Thank you, Bobby. Smile. The world smiles with you. We broke the 200 mark, I think. Nope, 196.98. But either way, Bobby, thank you. That gets us a lot closer. This is a Senate hearing in Tennessee. She went ahead and got dragged out for an illegal protest when she was told that she was going to be removed. Here it is. Hannity just copied your take on tariffs almost exactly the same. That doesn't surprise me. It's not the first fucking time. And you know what? I don't care anymore. You know what? Because that just gives me validity. And it makes me go, you know what? It's not me. We'll get there. People will see it. At some point, we'll have to break through that ceiling. I have to hope for it. Or if not, then I will just be a mediocre podcast host for the rest of my life and hang out with you guys. And that's okay with me too. Okay? Great. Well, you know what? That's your right to protest. But here is the Democrats. Georgia House Democrats walk out of the chamber en masse to protest of a Republican-backed bill to block taxpayer funds from being used to pay for gender-affirming care for state inmates. Seriously, are they ever going to be on the right side of an issue?
Yeah, I better get in there.
They just went out.
Yeah, I better get in there.
It's so bad that we can't even play it. Got to refresh it. I mean, seriously. I mean, can we get on the right side of issues, liberals? I mean, nobody cares about this crap. Nobody. You're walking out because inmates can't get transitional care. Forget about it. I'm not even gonna cover this. It's so stupid. Between Tennessee, I mean, is there anything? Do you see the Tennessee guy who stood up and protested against firearms and guns in schools? You know, the ones who acted, the two black guys who were BLM. walked up and punched another guy who was white. Can you believe that? Give me a break. So stupid. These guys, where do they find them? A video that I wanted to show you was of Donald Trump. But first, this is horrible. An identical twin of a 17-year-old, Austin Metcalf, speaks out after witnessing his brother getting stabbed. He was sitting down on a bench. He was a honor society track and field star. And he went up, got into an altercation with the kid from a rival school, told him to move, that he was sitting in the wrong space, grabbed his bag, and he stabbed him in the heart and killed him. Here's the video.
Being reckless, and my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw. And I tried to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid.
Rachel, they're horrible on YouTube. We can't grow on YouTube. We've tried. Everything I put up, they hit with copyright restriction. Everything I put up, they censor. I'm just done with them. I can't stand YouTube. I love my YouTube people, but I can't stand them. This is the mother of the son who was stabbed as well.
Just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore. And I don't understand it.
He's a good kid. We just got a little altercation, and that's really it. But he has a good heart. Everyone knows. Everyone around here knows he's a great kid. He just one mistake from that dude, and just took my brother. Just he didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that lose their family members all the time, but I just didn't know it's gonna be mine so soon. My best friend and my brother my whole life, but there was this kid. Before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack.
So, listen, it comes down to this. This is not a story that we have not heard before. We've heard things like this before. But you have people talking about civil war, and you have people talking about whites versus blacks. And we've already fought this fight. We already had hundreds of thousands of Americans die over this. We've already went through the civil rights movement. We're digressing as a people. And to kill someone, what the fuck are you doing with a knife at a track meet? Jesus, I love what's happening, but the GOP is so darn fluid in D.C., one is not able to count on them to support what we voted for in 2024. That's true. Joanne, have a good evening. It's just sad. Just to think that that could be my son. That could be my daughter. You know, or one of yours. And in a moment, their life snuffed out over what, a fight? What happened to, you knock someone's dick in the dirt and then you go and you buy them a beer. Some of my best friends I had in high school, we got into fights and altercations. So what? To stab a person, it's a very ugly and difficult thing to do. And it takes malice and hatred of a quantity that it takes a lot. It takes a lot to take a life with a knife. It's just sad. And I feel so bad for their families. Folks, we'll be right back. We are about $194 shy. I do have to get off now. And I've just got one more segment and then I got to go. So if you have a chance, I know we've got quite a few people on Twitter. If you haven't had a chance to donate to the show, now's the time. Birthday is mañana. We'll be on at 7 o'clock as normal. Olivia and myself will be on. We're going to try to get a guest if we can, but maybe not. Listen to this. We'll be right back.
The Dumb Show is built on real conversations, raw, unfiltered, and fearless. Big Tech didn't like that. Facebook pulled our funding, tried to shut us down. But for over a year, you, our incredible viewers, have kept us going. Your support, your donations, your time, it all matters. Most of you spend 10 plus hours a week with us. Compare that to Netflix, maybe 5 hours a month. We believe we're worth that time, and we hope you do too. But listen, we don't want giving to feel like a burden. We want it to feel good. So take a second to ensure you're in a good spot. If you're in a place to give, that will be amazing. If not, just liking and sharing helps more than you know. Visit thedumbshow.com/donate. Whether it's PayPal, Venmo, or mail, every bit helps to keep us going. Dumb Nation, we appreciate you more than words can say.
You should charge that guy for first-degree murder and try him as an adult and seek the death penalty. You took a young man's life, and there's got to start being some consequences for this. I don't care what he did. Jasmine Crockett openly admits she's a DEI hire. This is great. Like, it doesn't get better than this. This lady is such a brick. I mean, she's not even... she's not even genuine.
Gracious. Is this.
Let's see if I can get this video.
When I first
What the... Oh, stupid shit. Sorry. Copy video address. Elon, fix your freaking company. God. You know, I appreciate Doge, but can you get at least the videos to work on this damn thing?
Is this.
Whatever. You don't get a big video.
When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I want to say because you've been gracious. Is this. When I first became a public defender, I had no criminal defense experience. And I walked in and I told my boss, Charlie, I said, listen, you should hire me. He said, why? I said, because I'm black. Charlie looked at me like I was crazy.
Well, thanks for admitting it, that DEI. Here's a video from Donald Trump. Last thing, and then we're going to bail, folks.
It's our declaration.
Like I said, not feeling hot tonight, and we're going to go.
This is one of the most important days, in my opinion, American history. It's our declaration of economic...
Yeah, I know he's charged with murder. First degree, death penalty.
Independence. My fellow Americans, this is Liberation Day. April 2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn, the day America's destiny was reclaimed, and the day that we began to make America wealthy again. American steel workers, auto workers, farmers, and skilled craftsmen watched in anguish as foreign leaders have stolen our jobs, foreign cheaters have ransacked our factories, and foreign scavengers have torn apart our once beautiful American dream. Our country and its taxpayers have been ripped off for more than 50 years, but it is not going to happen anymore. We are finally putting America first. In a few moments, I will sign a historic executive order instituting reciprocal tariffs on countries throughout the world. We will supercharge our domestic industrial base. We will pry open foreign markets and break down foreign trade barriers. More production at home will mean stronger competition and lower prices. From this day on, we're not going to let anyone tell us that American workers and families cannot have the future that they deserve. We're going to produce the cars and ships, chips, airplanes, minerals, and medicines that we need right here in America. We're going to build our future with American hands, with American heart. This will be indeed the golden age of America.
All right, folks. Well, I appreciate it tonight. Once again, we are super short on our goal, so I just can't. I got to go. Not feeling too hot, so I'm not going to be able to wait for it tonight. And either way, we'll break the streak tonight and hopefully have a better day tomorrow. 237,485 on Facebook. Thank you, Joanne. Very, very nice. Good show. I appreciate you, Joanne. Thanks so much. We'll finish up tonight at 216.98. shy of our goal, and that is fine. Like I said, 11 months, 12 months, almost a year now, we have hit our goal every single night. And tonight we did it. So that's fine. Hey, thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me Show. If you have a chance, please hit like, share, follow, and subscribe. Also, if you would do me a favor, if you want to pick up a shirt, a hat, or something else, you can do that by going to thedumbshow.com. Have a good one. We'll see you Friday tomorrow with Olivia and myself and maybe somebody else. Have a good night. Thanks, guys and girls. Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.